Hello, Windows Analysis. We're the channel that explores the entire Windows universe, performance, hidden settings, its history, cool hacks, and all the latest updates. So if you love really understanding your system, you're in the right place. Today, oh boy, today we are tackling one of the most frustrating things in recent memory, that mysterious TPM chip that's blocking your Windows 11 upgrade.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet this message looks painfully familiar to a lot of you. This PC can't run Windows 11. Ugh, it's the phrase that stopped so many of us dead in our tracks, right when you thought you were about to upgrade. Everything's going smoothly, and then, bam, this brick wall.
It is so frustrating, right? But don't worry, today we're going to solve this thing. We're going to demystify what this technical hurdle is all about, figure out the why behind it, and, most importantly, we're going to get you past it. All right, let's dive in. So, before we can get into why Microsoft is so insistent on this thing, we first have to answer a simple question. What even is it? Let's break down this Trusted Platform Module, or TPM, in a way that actually makes sense.
Okay, so the official definition sounds, well, a little intimidating, right? Secure crypto processor. But really, at its core, a TPM is just a specialized little chip. Its entire job, its whole reason for being, is to handle super-sensitive cryptographic stuff, and to do it securely, completely separate from the rest of your computer.
But here's a much better way to think about it. Forget the technical terms. Imagine it's a tiny digital safe built right into your PC's motherboard. Or think of it as a dedicated bodyguard just for your data. Its one and only mission is to protect the really important stuff, like the encryption keys for your hard drive. This is what we call a root of trust. And the key thing is that it's anchored in hardware, not software. And that's a huge deal, because software can be tricked or infected by viruses. But a physical chip, that's a whole lot harder to mess with.
Now, this is where a ton of confusion comes in. So let's clear this up. You see, there are two main types. The first is a discrete TPM, or DTPM. That's a separate physical chip you could literally point to on the motherboard. But honestly, that's not very common in consumer PCs. What you almost certainly have is a firmware TPM, or FTPM. This one is way more common because it's actually built right into the CPU itself.
Okay, and this slide is your golden ticket. You're going to want to remember this because it will save you a massive headache later. To make things just a little more confusing, Intel and AMD call this exact same feature different names. On an Intel system, you're looking for PTT. That stands for Platform Trust Technology. On an AMD system, they just call it FTPM. I'll say it again. It's the exact same thing, just a different label. Keep that in mind.
All right, so now we know what a TPM is, which brings us to the million-dollar question. Why did Microsoft suddenly get so strict about this? Why do they make TPM 2.0 a mandatory requirement for Windows 11? Let's dig into the strategy here.
Basically, it all comes down to this. Microsoft wanted to set a whole new minimum security standard for every single Windows 11 PC. You know, in today's world, just having an antivirus isn't enough. The goal was to build a security fortress that starts right at the hardware level, something that can't be easily bypassed by malware, protecting your machine from the very instant you hit the power button.
And this isn't some abstract theoretical thing. It actually powers features you probably use every single day. You ever use Windows Hello to log in with your face or fingerprint? Well, the TPM is what's keeping that data safe. Ever use BitLocker to encrypt your hard drive? Yep, the TPM is the bodyguard for those encryption keys. Even Secure Boot, the thing that stops nasty malware from loading when your PC starts up, it all relies on the TPM. It's the hidden hero behind the scenes.
And having that solid foundation allows for what is really the crown jewel of Windows 11 security, a feature called memory integrity. It's pretty cool, actually. It uses virtualization to create this super secure isolated bubble around the absolute core of Windows. But see, for that bubble to be truly secure, it needs to be anchored to something physical, something in the real world. And what's that anchor? You guessed it, the TPM chip. Without that physical anchor, this whole next-level security concept just falls apart.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty and actually fix this. Now that we know why this thing is so important, let's figure out how to check if your PC even has one, and more importantly, how to turn it on if it's just been sleeping this whole time.
All right, step one is the quick check. This is super easy. You don't even have to reboot. Just press the Windows key and the R key at the same time to bring up the run box. Then type in tpm.msc and hit enter.
Okay, now if you see an error message here that says something like compatible TPM cannot be found, do not panic. Seriously. In like 90% of cases, this doesn't mean your computer is too old or doesn't have it. It just means it's probably disabled by default in the BIOS. We just need to go in and flip the switch.
So how do we do that? First, you're going to have to restart your computer. As soon as it starts booting back up, you need to start tapping the key to get into your BIOS or UEFI settings. Usually it's the Delete key, or F2, or maybe F11. Once you're inside that menu, start looking around for a tab that says Security or Advanced. Buried in there somewhere, you'll find the setting. Just switch it to Enabled, make sure you save your changes, and then reboot.
And hey, remember that cheat sheet we talked about? This is where it comes in super handy. If you've got an Intel CPU, you're hunting for a setting called PTT. If you're on Team AMD, you're looking for FTPM. Find it, enable it, save, and you should be all set.
So with that out of the way, let's wrap this up. Let's quickly recap the big takeaway, and then look ahead a little bit to what might be coming next for PC security.
Really, the takeaway here is crystal clear. The TPM is no longer some weird optional feature just for fancy business laptops. It is now the absolute foundation of PC security for all of us. With Windows 11, Microsoft drew a line in the sand and made it the new baseline. It's the bedrock that all our future data protection is going to be built on.
And that leaves us with one final, forward-looking question to chew on. Microsoft set the bar at TPM 2.0, but with AI and everything else advancing at a lightning pace, what do you think is next? What's going to be the next mandatory hardware requirement? A special AI chip? Something totally different we haven't even thought of yet? I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments. And that's it for today's analysis. If you liked it, subscribe, leave a like and a comment, enjoy tinkering, and see you in the next Windows analysis video.